Okay, we are recording in the cloud for COSA 252, May 3rd, 2025. And this is our splash screen. So I'll take that off and then we'll open up our Canvas site because we work from Canvas like crazy and go over here to our data analytics with Tableau. I'm going to also double check. Do we have wow, I don't think we do. We don't have an SLO assessment yet. I may have to create one. They didn't make one, so it's so new. Okay, well, we'll go back. Let's open up our Tableau class and we'll start from the start. So I'll change to student view in a moment, but the first thing I'm going to do is jump down here and go to, well, I'll actually change to student view. I might as well. So I'll start with our syllabus and let's take a look. And I'll maximize this out. Okay, that's pretty good. So let's make sure we understand our dates. So this class goes to June 1st. That's okay. Let's move down a little further. I want to go all the way down. We'll take a look at our calendar. I mentioned some calendar stuff today. So here we are, May 3rd, and let me write out some of the stuff we're going to be working with. I'll use a gray font about a medium size. So here's kind of what I'm looking at. Well, that could be better. So today, here's what I have planned to do. I'm going to do common charts in Tableau. I mean, that's it. Common charts in Tableau. Oh, let me clean this up. That's a mess. So this is what we're doing today. And it won't take a huge amount of time. I don't foresee it taking that long, but that is for May 3rd. All right. Now, on May 10th, I hope we can get both of these done. Hopefully we can. I hope I don't have to kick it over any. On May 17th, I hope we can get these two done. On May 24th, I hope we can. This is actually a combined exercise, so it's combined into one. So we have actually two separate assignments on the 10th, two separate assignments on the 17th, and this is sort of a big combined one assignment. So far, so good. Now, our exam is open right now. Final exam's open. In fact, I already had a student take it. They scored well. And also, I believe I published this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. I published all these, so they're available if you want to try and work ahead. And that's fine. This last one, from data to story, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. It has to do with trying to get outside data. And what I'm probably going to do is use the California Community College Data Mart. Now, I'll either do that or I'll actually set up a Azure online database. Now, if I set up an Azure online database, then I'll have to give you a connection and I'll have to show you how to connect. The problem is, this is May 31st. Our timing, if I were to introduce an assignment like that, our timing would be kind of tight because, to be honest, the end of the semester is June 1st. So I don't know if I really have any time to introduce anything in that lecture. And I know that uh, uh, I did Saturday online lectures. So the only thing I could possibly do is on the 24th is say, hey, I've got something I want you to do and I'm going to introduce it, but it would be late. Now, right now, all of these are published. So we're okay with that. And I'll show them to you in a moment. These are all published, so you could do them now. So this from data to story, the only way I'm going to do it is if I put it in the 24th. And it's not ready yet. And at the very least, I'd have to make it easy enough to connect and work on. And I haven't finished it yet because there's a couple of things that I need to do. So I'll have to think about it because I really can't assign anything to you on the 31st. That's like a day before the class is over. All right. So we'll see. Right now, we've got our assignment set. So keep this in mind. Look at that. Let me go back. All right, I'm viewing it as a student. So now I'll go to modules and we'll actually take a look at some of these assignment due dates. Section 1 we did. We explore Tableau data connections and we did the workspace. We did configuring and setting up data. And you'll notice I changed the due date. So for those students that didn't complete them, they can come back and complete them. Now, we're going to go to section 2 now. And section 2 is, we already did this, did that last week. And today, on May 3rd, we're doing this. All right. Now, section 3. Are these two? I'm going to do them both. So section 3, and that's going to come up on May 10th. I'm going to probably end up doing both of these, sorting and grouping and calculations. I think we should have time. Plus, everybody that's been working on it should be in good enough shape to tackle these, and you'll have plenty of time to do it. So that's the 10th. Now on the 17th, well, let's take a look at my dates again. So and then the 10th, and then the 17th. It's working with maps. That's fine. The 17th, we're going to be doing working with maps and adding customizations. And then the 24th, we've got this one, dashboards and views. And at that time, I have to decide whether to add that last one. But all of these are actually active, and I'll show you. I'll go all the way down to the last one called dashboards and views, and I have it. It's there, and it's available right now. It's available today. You could, if you felt confident, but be careful. Some of these, and I've been working through them, the new version of Tableau changed its look a little bit, and you're going to see that today. So if you can get it done, fine, but if it's messing with you a little bit, it's probably because these images are like from the last version, unfortunately. And Tableau does pivot pretty fast. They update. But you'll notice, hey, what to submit for the assignment. And I've basically given you what I want. Here's an example, and I have that for all of them. So I'm just saying these are available. You can work ahead if you need to be flexible on your time. All right, so I'll shut down the sections. I think that explains where we're at. Don't forget to do the final exam. It's due June 1st. It is multiple choice, true, false. All right, now that we've covered that, let's make sure our weekly recordings, and yes, the first 3 recordings are up, and we'll do the 4th one today. Let's double check that last week's recording is actually working. I'll just click on it right here. Let's take a look. Looks right. Let's run it and see. All right, recording is started for COSA 252. Okay, very good. Looks good to me. And yep, it'll resize, don't worry. Yeah, okay, now I've got to do one more. Let me see. Okay, I think that establishes that the YouTube video is up and running and we're good. So let me go back home. And actually, let's get into our assignment today. It's 7:20, and I told you it would be a little bit of a lightweight class. So let's go into section 2 and work on this. I'm going to mention some stuff. So I'm going to be moving this in and out a little bit because we only need a screenshot of the very end. This is the assignment right here. Foundations of chart. No, I'm sorry, common charts. We already did foundations. It is this one, common charts in Tableau. All right. Now I can start my assignment, and I really don't need to start it yet because I know that I'm going to have to end up with, and let me show you at the bottom, I'm going to need to be able to create this nice dashboard. Dashboards are easy. You just drag over everything. You don't even need to show the layout if you don't want. This is my dashboard. And it doesn't have to be exactly this format. I encourage you to experiment a little, but I am going to ask for all 4 of these chart types, and you can combine them into a dashboard. So having said that, I have a file available. I'm going to show you the file, and I'm going to mention something. The file that I'm giving you is a Tableau package file. I'm going to download it. Let's click on download. And I'll just put it on, I don't know, let's go. I'll just put it on the desktop. There we go. Now, do you see right here? It's called a TWBX file. I'm going to mention something kind of sneaky. A a, a TWBX file often will contain the basic the basic the basic Tableau little area with all the stuff on it. Plus, it packages in with it. If you based it on like an Excel spreadsheet, it'll actually package the little spreadsheet, XLSX. It'll package the spreadsheet, but it'll hide it in a different directory. It'll put it over somewhere else, and probably the Tableau temp directory. And I'll show you that. And we'll do it both ways, and I'll explain what's going on. So let me save it to the desktop. All right. And I'll just save it right here to the desktop. I'll say save. Hey, nice. There it is. Okay. So let's get this out of the way so I can show you. I'll work from it, but while we're working on it, you'll have the same thing while you're watching. So here's the TWBX file that I want you to use. So I just downloaded it, and I'll double click on it. And there's Tableau Desktop. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is that it has sheet 1 by default. And let's go over here. I want to go down here to your data source area, and let's go to data source, and oh, you'll notice it has hurricane data already set in here. Oh, that's nice. And up here, look what it says. It says, well, hurricane data is a what? A Microsoft Excel spreadsheet? Wait a minute, I didn't download a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. I didn't download that. So what's up with this? And it's a live connection? Well, how can it be live? Here's what's going on. Of course, it's a live connection. This file is part of the package. Sometimes people, because the way they do it's kind of weird. Let me show you. So I downloaded it. All right. And here's the temp file right here. But here's our original file. I opened it up. And now you're thinking, well, where did this hurricane data Excel file come from? And it's a live connection. Well, can I take a look at the connection? I'd like to. Let's go over here and say edit connection. I just want to see where it's connected to. Oh, there it is. There's the spreadsheet file. But look what Tableau did to it. When you opened up Tableau TWBX file, it did, oh, look at that, app data local temp, Tableau temp, and it put some code number data. Wow, it hid it. Kind of. It hid it. But I want to do it like, what if I had the original data? Okay. And that's what I'm going to do today. You don't have to. So I'm going to show you the alternate way. We can still totally use this, but I'm going to show you sort of a secondary trick. I might as well. We have plenty of time to do it. So I'm going to take this file. I'm going to right click. I'm going to copy it. I just want a copy of it. All right. And now I'll go to my, I don't know, let's go to downloads. There's downloads right there. And I'll paste it right in here. And I'll paste. There we go. Yeah, well, I already had it. So in other words, I'm just going to paste it in there. Oh, nice. Now wait, if I pasted it in there, I don't really even need to use this. In fact, I'm going to just cancel right here since I already pasted it. I don't need to edit the connection. I'm just going to close this. You want to save the changes? No, forget it. So here's the reason. So yeah, I've got this data that I downloaded, but since I scraped out the original data file, I'll just start a blank Tableau document. There's a blank one right there. It's blank, completely blank. And now it's going to ask me, hey, I don't even know where you want to start. Well, I'm going to go and get some data from a file. And I'll get the data that I copied out of that other file. All right. And there it is. And I can just drag the hurricane data over here, and I'll even drag the seasons data over here. The data is already cleaned up, it works fine. It's already been cleaned. But now I'm at the same place as I was before. I never even, I'm just sort of doing it myself. Either way will work. Now that I've got that, we'll try it one more time. I'm going to close this. I don't want to save it. So I'm just telling you, when you're opening up a Tableau TW, I think it's this one right here. Yeah, TWBX file. And it's a file that you had originally saved with an Excel file. It links up to it. There it is right there. They didn't even drag in seasons, and you could certainly drag in seasons if you wanted to. It'll automatically make a connection, but we don't use anything in the seasons table. So I'm just saying, either way is fine. You can do it. You don't really have to save it. You can always download another copy. We're fine. There's my data. Now, just for fun, let's take a look at our basic data. And I'm going to go into downloads, and I just want to open it up. It's always nice if you can see the original data. Let's see if I can grab it. Uh-oh, it's not going to be easy to grab. There we go. Here's Here's the original Excel data. Let's take a look. Show tabs only. Okay, so what do we have? Oh, Atlantic Basin. That's the basin. Category. Oh, okay. Hurricanes do have categories. Date, storm number, and that's the storm number of the season, I think. Storm name, year, pressure. Oh, okay. They have a storm name and different dates. Storm direction, storm speed, wind speed, latitude and longitude. Very nice. Now, if you look at some of this data, you're going to say, wait a minute, there's like a lot of data, and there's a lot of data that, what's up with Bertha? Same storm, same year. What's the difference? Well, they tracked the storm. All right. They tracked it, and they tracked it over time. All right. So I'm just saying there's a lot of data in there. How about the seasonal data? Ah, that's a simple, tiny little start and end. All right. I kind of get it. So if I close this file and now I look over here, let's take a look. And that's seasons and that's hurricane data. Yeah, there it is. It pretty much explains it. And look at latitude and longitude. They're listed as uh, geographic type data. That's good for us. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is go over here to where it says sheet one, then I want you to rename it, and we're going to call this bar chart because I want to start out with a very basic bar chart type data. And press the enter key and you'll see bar chart shows up right here. Now, would you like to format it? I think you can format it, make it, give it a nice name. I mean, I don't know if I want to, but you certainly could. There we go. However, what we want to do for this, remember, I'll follow the same directions. Category goes to columns, pressure goes to the rows. So category 5 and then millibars of pressure, category goes to columns, pressure goes to the rows. Be careful, a dimension is a category. You would never add two categories together. I mean, a tornado either is category 1 or category 5 or category 4. So it's not like a measure. So category goes to columns, pressure goes to rows. All right. Category right there goes to columns, and pressure down here, there's my measure, pressure goes to rows. Now, here's the problem. It's going to look funny because what it's doing right now is it's showing the sum of all the pressures. And since there's a whole lot more category 0 storms, the sum of their pressure is going to be huge. So you got to change this. You don't want this calculation to be a sum. You want to go down here and change the measure to average. That's much better. Now, you can tell that these bars are kind of stacked over here on one side. So go up here to the top where it shows you a different fits, and I'll just say entire view fit is fine. All right. Category and average pressure. And it makes sense that as the category goes higher, the average pressure would go lower. Absolutely, no problem. And you can move stuff around. If you don't like this way of showing the bars, I can move category down here and move my average pressure up. I mean, you can do it either way. These are pretty basic measures. since we've only got 6 total categories. But most people would say, I'd rather have it this way. I'll put the category up and drag the average pressure back down. All right, sounds good to me. Now, you'll notice that there's not much of a difference between like a category 5 and a category 0, but that's not necessarily true. So for instance, if I were to say, well, what about this? This is kind of, I'm not sure. I'd like to have a little closer sign, like I want to do a filter. I'm going to actually do like a custom range. Custom range, I'm going to start a fixed start. We'll start at 900 and then we'll go to the top one, 1051. I'll even go to like 1051. Let's go to 1020. 1020. 1020. Now, if you change the way the range looks, wow, that really, I mean, it really looks different. See, that that's a way you can visually trick people into getting all excited, but it may be meaningful because if you know enough about the weather, you know there's a huge difference between 1,000 millibars and 920 millibars. That's huge. But if you take away that filter and just start at 0, let's go all the way back. I'm clicking the back arrow. If you take away that filter, it doesn't look like much of a difference. It's true. All right. We're going to do something a little bit different. I want to change something. I want to move the storm speed measure. Now, we know that some storms move faster and some storms move slower, but does the storm speed have anything to do with their uh, category and average pressure? I think that's right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to change the sort. I'm going to change the sort order of these. Let's reverse it. There we go. From 0 to 5. So what does storm speed? And we're going to take a look at that. Storm speed, that's how fast a storm moves. Let's take a look. I'm going to add another dimension. And it mentions right here. And it basically it told you, hey, move the category up and down and it'll move stuff around. But the next thing I want you to do is drag the storm speed measure into the color mark. Okay, storm speed is right here, right there, and I'm going to drag it up here into color. Perfect. Now, you'll notice I have a little filter over here and it's saying low speed is dark and high speed is, wait a minute, high speed and low speed. Wow. There's my uh there's my color scheme. And it even tells me average. Wait a minute, be careful. I don't want a sum of storm speeds. See, that's the little thing that's going to get you in trouble. What you if you are working with continuous data measures, be careful because Tableau will automatically put a sum. I'm pretty sure I want to do average. That's going to help. Now, did they say average storm speed over here? Drag date and time to the color mark. I would say average storm speed is pretty important. I don't know why they wanted some of storm speed. If we say average, it's going to give us a slightly different view of things. So it looks like average storm speed for your category 0 hurricanes is 13.8 miles an hour. For category 1, it's 14. For category 2, it's down to 13 again. Category 3, it's down. 4 is lower. 5 is even slower. Interesting. So there does seem to be a trend. It's not randomly put out. Now, if you do total storm speed, yes, you can say, okay, I'm going to go some. The problem is when you hover over it, no storms go at 2,378 miles per hour. That's the problem. And even though it may give you some indication of data, I would say don't use it in this case. I'm going to use average. All right. Because average speed probably works better. And this is what I'd like to see. They didn't do, you'll notice they did some. Yeah, they didn't do average like I would have. All right. Now they're basically saying, hey, you can change how it looks, you can move colors in. You don't have to. This is good enough. But I'll give you an example. So I have average storm, I have average pressure and category. This is my average pressure, and it's colored by storm speed. Now, can I also change maybe, I don't know, can I put something in? I'll say detail. I'll have average storm speed detail up here. Okay. Storm speed average, I'll put in detail. Does that really help me at all? No, it doesn't show up. Average storm speed, I'll put in label. There we go. And that shows me a little bit. Okay. Is there any other data that I want to show? Well, okay, what about dates? I'm going to take a look at dates. So here's my date, and I'm going to put that into color. Now that's going to divide up your storms by category and also by date. Wow, that's crazy. The problem is it doesn't really help us understand. It's too complex and it doesn't tell a decent enough story. So I'm going to say for this particular bar chart, even though you can go crazy and add other stuff, I'm going to go back and I'm going to say this is not a bad measure. Now, if I go over here into label, and I'm going to say, should I put some extra text in here? Some storm speed, and I'll actually press the enter key and say, average storm speed. Will that put that text in there? I think. Let's preview it and see. Yeah, it looks good. I'll apply it. So we're going to keep it simple. We're not going to mess with it, but I'll leave that. Bar charts, no problem. Can you change your color scheme? Sure. Here's my marks, and my bar marks are here. Can I change the size of my bar marks? Sure, I can make them bigger. Oh, like that, maybe a little bit. And I can certainly change my color scheme if I want. They're very opaque. Those are completely opaque. Let's go about 52%. Oh, that's good. And yeah, you can do your colors just like we did last week. You can do any kind of pattern that you like. Don't like those. That's a little bit not good enough. But let's go over here. I'll go blue teal is probably the original one that I liked. I'll apply it. All right, that's fine. So let's leave that. That's our bar chart. We set it up nice. Let's move on to the next one. I want to talk about a line graph. So just leave that there. We're going to use it later. That's our line graph. So click down here where the little plus sign is. Right down here, we're going to add a new chart. I'm going to change the color on that. All right. And the next chart, we're going to add, right-click on it, right-click, and go to rename. I'm going to call this line graph. Uh-oh. Line graph. There we go. Press the enter key, and I want it to look nice, so I'm going to double-click, and let's take a look. Yeah, I absolutely want 24 point. There's a nicer font, maybe. There we go. No, that looks ugly. I'll pick something a little bit different. Is it really important? Nah, I don't think so. It's got all kinds of Microsoft fonts in there. Oh, Ravy. Nice. That looks horrible, but we'll use it. Okay, so we're all set and ready for a line graph. Now, the data that I want to use, I'm going to use date and time because I want to graph something over time. So we're going to put that in the columns. Date and time right there. Let's pull it up into columns, date and time. All right. And then for wind speed, we're going to put it in the rows tab. So let's take a look at wind speed. Where is it? There it is, wind speed. I'll put that over into rows. Now, I don't want a sum of all the wind speeds for that particular year. It doesn't make any sense. So, of course, I'll change the measure calculation to average. Much better. And I'll fit my line graph all the way perfect. So we're looking pretty good there. Line graph. I can change the size if you want. You want a thicker line? Yeah, I want a thicker line. There we go. Can change the color of the line if you like as well. We'll work on that in a second. So there's my basic line graph. Now, because I changed it to average, I'm looking a little bit bigger. And I'm going to try to do something else with a dual axis. And this is the sneaky part. So this is where I'm going to bring in the text and show you. Here's what it tells you to do. Locate the storm speed measure and drag it to the rows shelf. Wait a minute. Storm speed and drag to the rows shelf. All right. Where is storm speed? That's right. And I'm going to drag it up here to the rows shelf. Now watch what happens. Oh, it gave me two. And you'll notice they're kind of separate graphs, one on top of the other, because this is miles per hour, and this is what? Wind speed, kilometer, it's a different measure. So yes, I could put these both onto the same graph, but that's not going to tell me, it's not going to give me a good indication of what's going on. So I'm happy with these two. So far, so good, but let me mention, we're going to have to change the aggregation to average. Oh, that's right. Remember, storm speed, it's sum. I don't want it to be sum. I want to change it to average. All right, that's more like it. So we've got these two uh, sort of, they're not the same. They're not a combined line chart. They're just two separate line charts, one on top of the other. Okay, we did that, but here's the next one. Drag the storm speed measure from the rows shelf over to the right side of the wind speed over here. They want you to drag it from the rows over to the right side of the wind speed. Oh, let's be careful. I'm going to drag it. Let's go over here. Oh, there it goes. That's what they want. So as soon as you see that little mark, you'll see a black dotted line and a green bar. It's going to create a dual axis chart. All right, I'll lift up. Okay, now there's a reason I don't like this because it's comparing two different things. They're going to mention it, but I'm going to tell you, yeah, that's clever and it's cute, but hey, this is, so let's go right here. That's 53.96 kT, and then this one is 15.464. Are those equivalent measures? I'm not sure. Wait a minute. Let's take a look. I'm gonna have fun with this. So I'm gonna actually ask Google. We'll do this. Wind speed KT to mph. Okay, the knot. So unit of speed equal to 1 nautical mile per hour. What is KT in wind speed? Unit of speed used in navigation equal to 1 nautical mile. So it looks like it's not the same. How fast is a 50 KT wind? Miles per hour, 50, 58, 51, 59. So I don't like that. It's oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to go back to a question. I have found that if you delete the TWBX file, I think it eliminates the underlying Excel file. So if I want the underlying file, I go and open up the connection and uh, edit the connection and go find out where it is and then copy it. Yes, a good question. I should have watched chat a little bit closer. But you can experiment. You can open it up, delete it, and you'll notice it's not there in that folder anymore. In fact, before we're done for tonight, we'll test it and see. All right, so I'm going to mention something. Yes, they have two different bars. They have two different measures. And I'm not real confident. See 11, and then that's 42. Yeah, I'm not real confident in the way this combined graph looks, and I don't trust it. So on the marks card, click the mark title average storm, change the mark type to a bar chart. Okay, on the marks card, we're going to change the average storm speed to a bar chart. Let's see what happens. Average storm speed, I'm going to change it to a bar chart. Okay, so that lays it on top. But here again, we're combining wind speed with different measures of speed. I'm not sure I like that, but they're mentioning that you can absolutely do it. All right. Dual axis charts are the only way to display two different mark types. That's true. This type of chart is perfect. Now, a combined axis where you combine both of them. Instead of dragging the measure to the right top, you drag it over here to this side. Yeah, all right, let's take a look. Now I'm going to go back to where it was originally. I'm going to backspace. Okay, here we go. This is where we're at, right here. I'll even go back. Okay, now my measure, which is, let's go all the way back. Average wind speed, that's right. And I think the next one that we wanted uh, was it storm speed, I think? Storm speed, yeah. So here we go. So I'm going to add storm speed again. There's storm speed. And we change that. Okay, so here's average storm speed. Now watch, if I go over here and put this right here, what happens? I have one big value from 0 to 60. And I'm not sure if I like that. Average storm speed, miles per hour, wind speed knots, 54. But I don't, I'm confused because you're mixing two different measurements. So let's go back. I'm gonna stick with this one. average wind speed, average storm speed. They would like you to experiment with dragging stuff around, and that's fine. Uh, but be careful. They ignored the hard part. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to make this look nice. First of all, I'm going to go to average wind speed, and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to change the color to something. Wind speed is kind of more of a green. I'll make that a nice dark green. And I don't want any markers. I'll say that's fine, but I'll change the size. I want that to be a bigger set of bars up here. All right. Now I'll go down to average storm speed. I'll do the same thing. I'm going to change the size to something a little bit bigger. There we go. So I'm happy with that. And I'm not going to get any fussier about that. So this is my average over from 1990 to 2006. That's fine with me. I'm not going to fight with it. And I'll just leave that alone because we're going to move on to another type. But here's a good way for it to look. I would prefer to have it separate because we're taking two different measurements. All right, then let's go to the next one. I want to build a scatter plot. So we're going to open up a new graph over here, right click, rename it. Let's go to scatter. Oh, scatter plot. All right, press the enter key. Let's find a decent title. I'll double click on that. I am definitely going to keep it at 24. I like that. And this time I'm going to pick a different font. Oh, I don't know. Comic Sans is good. I'll make it bold though. I'll give it a nice color. Kind of an off color. There we go. Okay, looks good. So let's follow the instructions on the scatter plot. And here's what it wants us to do. We're going to drag the pressure to the columns and the wind speed because it makes sense. We think higher the pressure and lower the pressure are have a correlated a relationship with wind speed. Yeah, okay, remember, wind speed is not the same as computer speed. We feel like the lower the pressure, the higher the wind speed. We feel like it. So pressure to columns, wind speed to rows. All right. Pressure to columns. There it is. Now that's going to be our, I know right now it's green and we're going to leave that alone for a second. Pressure to columns and wind speed to rows. All right. Wind speed to rows. Fine. Now, right now we just have one dot. Okay, we got to clean that up a little bit. So we're going to drag category into the filters card. We only want to select category 0. Yeah, okay, category 0. So here's my category and drag it up here. You see right here to filters? Drag it up to filters and say, I just want to see category 0 and apply that. Okay, so far so good. Well, all right. But remember, our pressure starts from 0 to 5,000, and most of our hurricanes are in a tiny little window in here. But wait, do I want to see the sum of pressure or the average? I think we better change both. I want average pressure, and I want, on average, wind speed. Okay, that's fine. But all of our data is still just totally socked into this area up here and wind speed of between 35 and 40 and and our pressure somewhere up here in 1,000. But most storms are like between 950 and 1,000. So they're all just sort of stuck up in here. So we got to watch that. Hang on, where are we? Oh, there we are, right there. Okay. Now, I added the measures, but I want to go up to Hurricane ID to the detail mark. That's going to help me expand the scatter plot. So this is the part that gets us what we want. Well, let's Hurricane ID, I think in this book is called Hurricane Name. I'm pretty sure. Storm name. So just drag storm name over here into the detail mark. That should get you what you want. All right, there they are. All of the different storms are named, and you'll notice they're still kind of all jammed up in this area. Well, the reason is I have to make a smaller range. I have to change the range of this, and the way to do it, uh, we're going to double click on the average pressure title on the x-axis. Average pressure title right there. And I'm going to change the range. In other words, I can't go from 0 to 1068. I'm going to go from, I don't know, probably about 920 to, what do you think? 1030? 1030. That should give me a real tight range. And let's take a look. Yeah, there it is. That helps. If I want a wider range, if I want this to zero in more, you'll notice I don't have any category 0 storms that are less than 980. So I could definitely go back over here and say, look, just start at 980 and go up to 1030. That's going to scatter me out a little nicer. But wait, there's no category 0 storms that are over 1015, so I could even zero in more, 1015. That's really going to help me out there. It's really zeroed in to the area that it's at. Now, what if I wanted to add another category? Well, each mark is for each hurricane, and there's too many to put the name on the label. Because if I were to say, okay, I'm going to put the storm name over here on the label, oh no, that's crazy. It's just too much. Now, wait a minute. What if I change the wind speed and just start out at 20 and go up to 55? I can do the same thing, custom. I'm going to start out at 20 miles an hour and go, yeah, up to 53. Oh, much better because it's zeroing in on the names. Well, what if you wanted to only do like uh, not category 0 storms? What if you only wanted, I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to edit my filter. I don't want 0. I want only category 5 storms, the big ones. Now, if I apply that, you're going to see there's nothing here. Well, that's probably because their pressure is a lot lower. So if I change my pressure, I better go down. I'm going to have to start out maybe at 900. Let's see if they show up. Not even that. What about wind speed? Let's change our wind speed. We're going to have to go a lot higher than wind speed. We'll go to wind speed. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll do automatic. And if I do automatic, it's going to tell me where to zero in. There they are. And if I go down here to average pressure and I say automatic, it'll max it out. And it'll show me these category 5 storms. There's not a lot of them. And so the reason that they picked, and I'll go over here to filter, I'll go back to edit filter. and I'll just pick category 0. All right. And I'll apply that. And if I want it to show up nice and tight, I'm going to go over here and fix my average pressure. And I think we understood average pressure was about, I don't know. In the book, it wanted me to do average pressure, I forget, 975 to 1030. 975 to 1030. And that's okay. That that gave me a big enough spread, and that's fine. And I could even fix it better. And my average speed, I think I'm going to limit it to 15 to 50. So instead of, I'm going to put the low end at 15, go up to 53. All right, not bad. I mean, that zeroes me in. I certainly don't want the storm name on the details right here. It's just it's in the way. I'll just drag that up and out. So far so good. Now, we've edited the axis, we've set up the relationship. Now, if you want to change the size, you can do something. For instance, we have average wind speed and we have average pressure. Now, the lower the pressure, the bigger the size. These are category 0, so there won't be a lot of difference. So if I say, okay, uh, I'm going to put pressure over here into the size bar, and you'll see definitely some are different than others. Now, if you want to take a look at all your category 0 hurricanes, and you want to pick, for instance, which ones you want, maximum size, you can change all of that and make it look a little bit nicer if you want to change what it looks like. And you can filter these and only pick the ones you want. You can do all kinds of stuff. Here's my category. That's good enough. Now I can also put, I don't want some pressure, because I really should say average pressure. Here we go, average pressure. And average pressure definitely doesn't give me too much differentiation. How about if I take average pressure and put it over here into color? You know, it doesn't give me a good color shade either. However, I can certainly change the size of these. It just scatters it out too much. So there's a lot you can do. I tell you what, I'll go back there. That's about right. I don't need the size. So really just the storm name. Remember, I double clicked on my X and Y axis to give it a nicer look. I certainly, it doesn't have to look exactly like the chart, but I've made mine a little bit better looking, I think. But I'm going to go over here and click on entire view. There we go. So that's what I want you to keep. And that's pretty much it. All right, last one, geographic data. So I'm going to click on the new tab. Let's see what they want to call it. See, theirs looks a little bit different. The reason theirs looks different is because when they adjusted the range for average pressure, they basically, the example in the book, they said, well, we'll also include all these numbers greater than this. Although if you include all those, it squashes these up, and we're going to include all the numbers, you know, from 0 to 15, and there's no hurricanes that are under like 18 miles an hour. But if you do it like I did, you're going to zero in on just this area. So there's all kinds of stuff you can play with. Unfortunately, a lot of people are visual, so you can play with these kind of numbers, and people just look at the dots and they don't look at the ranges, and you can make bad look good and good look bad. But we'll accept that. Okay, the next one. Just call it maps. Not too tough to do. Now, we already have the latitude and longitude measures in the data pane. We'll double click on each measure to create a one mark map. Let's take a look. They say double click. I don't know if that's going to work, but I'm going to do a new sheet right here, right click and say rename. I guess we're just going to call it maps. And I'll put a nice big, I'll double click on it, put a nice big, this is going to be a bigger font, 26 font, Tableau light. No, I want something nicer. There we go. Maps, that's sort of official. No, and I'll apply that. Maps, looks like a map. Now, I want you to go over here and look at latitude and longitude, and I want you to be awfully sure that the little globes are set. They've been set as geographic data. Now, if you have a spreadsheet that you're bringing in and you have to massage the data and you have to tell it, hey, this is actual geographic data, there's a way to do it. In fact, you can go over here and say, change the data type or, oh, geographic role. So you can actually adjust it. But this is already listed as latitude and longitude, so we're good. Now, here's the funny thing, and I think they changed it. We located latitude and longitude, and it says double click on each measure to create a one mark map. Yeah, okay. I'm going to double click on each one. Double click and double click. Yep, there it is, a one mark map. That's pretty crazy. Average longitude and sum of latitude? That doesn't make any sense. We're going to drag the dimension hurricane name into the details mark because there's hurricane ID. Fine. I'm going to drag hurricane ID into the detail mark. So let me grab it. There we go. Oh, nice. Okay, so far so good, but that's not helping me with my latitude and longitude. I need to drag Tableau now has a map. I don't think it's got a map. I'm going to have to change the sum. Should I change that to discrete? Kind of a mess, isn't it? If I change it to discrete, that won't help. It's not sum either. Change it to dimension. Well, if that doesn't help, I've got problems. I don't need average longitude either. Should I change that to a dimension? Wow. So here's the problem. Let me go all the way back. When they said double click, they were crazy. Let me explain. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to control click on this. I'm just going to drag them right both over here into the fields. Okay, single dot. Now I'm going to go to Hurricane ID and drag into the details pane. And there it goes. Now, that's the way to do it. When I double clicked on it, didn't work. You'll notice they're both average. That's okay. It knows how to handle it. There's the map. All right. Would you like to make some adjustments? Sure, you can. Would you like to change the map itself? Well, yeah, maybe. Would you like to zoom in on the area? Okay, yes, you can do that. I'm not going to mess with it so much right now. I think this is acceptable. It's not even giving you the option to resize. It's showing what it's showing. There's a few things we can do though. So for instance, I'm going to go over to category and I'm going to click on size. Wow. Okay. It's going to kind of show me the different categories. Let's try this. I'm also going to go to category and click on color. Okay. Category 5 is blue. Now that we get in closer, Okay, I don't see that many category 5 blue ones. I'm going to change the color scheme. We're going to edit colors. So now I'm going to say, hey, look, category 5, I want category 5 to be red. I'm going to assign the palette. Automatic? No. I want, I don't want automatic. I want, let me see. Let's go to green, orange, and teal. All right. So there's number 5. No, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to go to red and green. No, I want something better. I'll just go to automatic. I don't care. Let's go to automatic. So I'm going to say, look, I want 5 to be red. Okay, 4 is orange. 3 is yellow. 2 is brown. 1 is green and 0 is blue. All right. Now it's going to show up. All my category 5s are red. I don't see any. And ought to. There's my sizes. Oh, I got to change the order of my, look at that. So I'll have to go over here into size and change the order. That's terrible. So hang on, let me see if I can fix that. Edit sizes. Smallest to largest, I need to reverse it. There we go. Apply that. Much better. So now I've got this nice chart that shows me a little bit more, and that's what I want. So it's going to show me my big ones, my small ones. I played around with it, but it looks good. And that's what I need. So you can go along exactly with this. You don't have to worry about it. Wind speed to the color mark. You can play around with wind speed. You can play around with size. Any combination you want, but I want something that's meaningful. And I want you to show me the dashboard. That'll finish it up. All right. What to submit? Well, there we go. I'm going to do it this way: scatter plot, then line graph, then map, then bar chart. So let me put these in the order that I want. All right, I'm going to go for a dashboard. It's this one over here. There we go, dashboard 1. So the first one I want is my scatter plot, and I'll just drag that right in here. Okay. Now remember, when you're dragging these in, you can sort of lay them next to each other. So my line graph, I'll put over on this side. All right. Now, my map, I'll put down here on the bottom corner. Wow, look at that. That's crazy. I guess I should have been a little bit more careful. Oh, well, good enough. Should have changed the size. All right. And now finally, I think the last one is my bar chart. I'm going to pull it down on this corner. Got it. So we've got all 4 now. Now, we don't really have to show these tools over here. You can get rid of those. Removing will also remove the 3 items within it. Delete containers. Yeah, no, I don't know. Let me minimize it. Remove container, fix width, edit width. I don't know. Let's remove it and see what happens. All right, good enough. It's not going to kill me. So, and the colors are a little washed out, but I'll accept it. That's what I want. Now, you want to minimize the layout and then close this. This is a nice clean one. Let me see if I can view it in a decent enough size. I think I can. There we go. It's going to fit on my screen. So if you can't fit these, can you make them? I think you can. I think this will fit. They'll fit on it. There's the dashboard. There's the layout. There's the dashboard. You can close it. Perfect. Now, obviously, my labels aren't that great. I should have fixed that. I got extra junk on there I don't need. Probably should have cleaned that up because when I squeezed it in, it didn't work. Well, how can I fix it? Well, if I go back to bar chart and I say, hey, I don't want these labels. Okay, how do I get rid of the label? There's my marks and is there the label? Oh, get rid of those. All right, much better. Now, if I go back to dashboard, it'll look nicer. Okay. And plus, if I go over here to maps, let's go back over here. If I go over here to my maps and say, ah, that's way too big, I'm going to change the size. We've got to go down. All right, that's more like it. Then I go back to dashboards. Okay, it looks a little better. So I have the option and scatter plot. I wish the colors were a little bit nicer. Let's go to, are there any colors involved? I don't think so. Opacity is 100%. Yeah, I guess that's as good as it's going to be. All right. All right. I'm not gonna fight with it. I can change the size a little bit, but okay. I'll leave it that way. My dashboard's fine. All of my graphs are okay. And now I'll take a screenshot. So let's do a snipping tool. Now I'm going to snip. This is all I need. Let's do a snip. Come on, snip. Okay, this is a big snip. Here we go. Wow, huge snip. But I've got it. Now, if I'm using snipping tool, I just click on copy. Okay, now I'm going to submit my assignment and just paste it in. Let me start my assignment. Now, I told you this is what I wanted. You don't really have to include the layout. Just these four are fine. They're good. And so is my dashboard. And then I'll just say paste. Now it's going to be kind of big, but give it a second. You know what? It's not that bad. It fits fine. Yeah, that's okay. That's it. So I'm going to submit the assignment. Hey, nice. Now, the last thing I'll do, because we had a question about these files. So I'm going to move this off. Okay, I've already done it. I don't have to recreate it. I'm going to exit and I won't save anything. Want to save changes? No. Okay, but I still have the original file. Now watch. I'm going to go over here and double click on the original file, and you'll notice there's nothing on it. It's completely blank. But if I go to data source and I go over here to connection, let me edit the connection. Now, take a look in this directory. App data local temp application. I just want to save that directory, and I'm going to hold this over. In other words, this is my directory. Okay, I'm going to copy it, but we know where it is. Okay, I'm going to close this. No, I don't want to change it. No. And now I'm going to delete this. Gone. Okay, my question is, now that I've deleted it, is that original linked file still in that directory? Ooh, I don't know. Let's see if I'll paste it in and go. Oh, it can't find it? Then let's try it. I'll see if I can navigate to it. Wow, that's crazy. App data, local temp, Tableau temp. Okay, here we go. New File Explorer. Here we are. So we're going to go to C drive. Okay, local disk C. Users, Johnny, that's me. Application data, local. Ooh, where's temp? Should be there. Temp. Uh-oh. Okay. Where is Tableau temp? And all these temp files, you can do a disk cleanup on these. A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, T. Where's temp? Uh-oh. Oh, it's Tableau temp. All right. There it is, Tableau temp. We're getting closer. Uh-oh, it's not there. Crash dumps temp. So it's gone. Oh, so it's gone. Yeah, that makes sense. You'll notice that was it. So we sort of solved that. So yeah, if you get one of these like practice files, and they're out there on the internet too, and it's a TWBX file, I think it's called TWBX. If it includes data, there's a way to go and get that data out so you can play with it directly. All right, that's it. We submitted it. We're good. Now remember, all this stuff over here you can do. Like I made it available, so keep on working on it. I know this is basic stuff, but this gets us into most of the work. Actually, connecting to a data source isn't too bad. I'll see if I can create a Microsoft SQL Server data source, maybe, or yeah, I don't think I can't do it locally. I might be able to do Oracle PeopleSoft. I don't think I can. We'll see. But that's it for tonight. So I will go back home. We submitted it. I'll grade it. If you have any questions, let me know. Uh, ask me if you want into the cloud. I can grant you cloud access to our little area as a creator. That means you can get on there and do stuff. But you do have to sign up with Tableau. Okay, let's close that. We're going to say goodnight. I'm going to stop the recording, and I'll put a link up to the recording. So let's stop the recording. And for those of you that are watching this and keeping up with it, do your best. We're halfway done. We got 4 more weeks. And please go take the final and just get it out of the way. I think you can retake it until you get them all right. All right. We'll see you guys later.